You've heard it before. The answer is within, right? But you're probably wondering, well, how come I don't know the answer to my problems? Maybe your problem is you're wondering what your purpose is, or maybe you're not happy and you're wondering what can make you happy, or simply you have a business and you don't know what direction to go or what the next move is. Why don't you know? And that's what I'm going to share with you today. I'm Deepa Liu, and I'm the Creative Mystic, and I call myself a spiritual mentor. Now, that mentor is really not me. It's about life experiences. I like to share with you the life experiences that come to me or that I have that have helped me grow spiritually, that have helped me to be happier in my life, that have helped me to be more successful in my life. So, I was in meditation the other day, and what floated across as I was settling down into meditation was this phrase, the answer is within. And I was getting guided that I was to share with you the 3 things that block your ability to know the answers that are within you. Because all the answers to all your problems actually do come from within. And only you know what the right thing is for you. So let's get going. So reason number 1 why you're not getting the answers from within is that you're looking outside yourself. You're looking everywhere, trying to find the answer, trying to find the answer. It could be that you go from person to person to person, asking their opinion, what do they think, whatever the problem you're trying to solve, you go and you ask other people's opinions. Now, I'm not saying don't ever go get an opinion or don't ever get some expert advice or don't ever get support, because support, I think, is actually really important to get somebody. Like, I'm a spiritual success coach, and I help support people to get in touch with their true heart's desire, how to work with the laws so that you can actually apply it and act on what your true heart's desires are. But that's not going to 10 different people trying to ask their opinions and trusting their opinion more than what you can feel is true in your heart. And the reason why you go from person to person to person asking an opinion is because you know partially inside you that the opinion they're giving you isn't true for you. Otherwise, you would act on it. So that's one way that you look outside yourself. The other way that you could be looking outside yourself of why you can't get the answers from within is that you're looking at all the conditions around you in your life. It could be the conditions of the relationship you're in. Maybe it's not a healthy one. Maybe it's not one that you're happy in. You might feel stuck in that condition, and so you're not acting on what's true for you. It could be the condition of thinking the job you have and you can't look for another job, or the condition of the economy. Like, maybe you really have this desire to start your own business, but you're waiting for the economy to be in a certain place before you actually act on it. Okay? Whatever the condition is, that's what's stopping you from being able to get the answers from within. Because if you have the desire, the true heart's desire, you have the ability, there will be a way. But you have to stop looking outside of yourself constantly for the answers, okay? Or the condition to change, okay? The situation to change before, or a person to change, because that's another condition that people wait for. I'll do this when this person changes and does this, or I'll do, act on this when I finally feel confident. That's still looking outside yourself, and that if something else will give me confidence. So one of the examples too I've seen with past coaching clients before I started using my spirit guide portals is that some of them would go get certified after certification, after certification, after certification, because they thought, if I just get one more certification, that'll make me feel confident. And I tell people, you don't get confidence from getting certified. You get confidence from starting to do it and getting feedback. You get confidence from maybe practicing something and seeing that you can do it. But it's about starting to take some action and then seeing what happens. That's where the confidence starts to build, because when you start to repeat and do it again, you see you start to improve. okay? But back to the reason. If you're looking outside yourself, that prevents you from going within and getting the answer, okay? So that's reason number one. Reason number two of why you are not getting answers from within, why you don't know the answers to your problems, okay, is judgment. You're judging. You're judging yourself that maybe you're not good enough. You're judging yourself that maybe you don't have the right degree. You're judging yourself that maybe the desire that you have is not a good desire. Maybe you think it's a desire that makes you a selfish person or not a good daughter, or you think that it's not being logical or practical. Those are all judgments, okay? And let me tell you, what is logical might be logical to one and not logical to another. Logic is based on what happened in the past. It wasn't logical to think you could fly in an airplane before the Wright brothers, okay? It wasn't logical to think that you could zip things across invisible lines, because there's no actual wired lines, where we first went to the fax machine where we do it over a phone line, and that wasn't logical many years ago. And then now we have these cell phones, which if you went back 30, 40 years ago, it wouldn't have been logical to think that we'd have this computer that we go around holding in our hand, okay? So logic is something that constantly changes. Practicality, and when you say that's not practical, practical was given to you probably by the beliefs of your parents. Doesn't mean it's not practical for you. And so you have to start to embrace, like, maybe there's a different way. So let go of those judgments. And those judgments come from what? Beliefs that you have. And so you got to start to examine those beliefs so you can go, maybe it's about time I start to look at how these judgments are holding me back and let them go. And this can be done. You usually need to have a coach. It's one of the things I help people do in my spiritual success coaching. So if you're looking for somebody that might be a fit for you, please check out my Next Step Connection Call. It'll be in the show notes, and I'll also put down here at the bottom, deepaloo.com/gift, if you'd like to do a complimentary connection call with me to see if we're a fit and you're looking for a coach to help you with this, okay? Okay, let's get back to reason number three, okay? The third reason why you don't know your answers from within are that you're worried about what other people think. I've been there before. I can still have that voice come up, and I have to like that, no, we're going to move forward anyway, okay? But when I started getting my spirit guide visions and creating spirit guide portals, I had this desire on the inside to create these visions I was getting, because they came to me, and I started to realize that, oh, these are spirit guides that want to be created into portals, which are doorways to help you connect with this divine energy, this higher realm, okay? And when I first started to get that inkling, I just thought, oh, people are going to think I am weird. They're going to think that this is crazy. And I had to get guidance, or I should say evidence, from Divine Mother to start to think differently. And what happened was, Yogananda was one of the first times I wanted to create like a doorway, a portal. And Yogananda was actually a Swami that was here in the United States back in, I can't remember when he came, but he was here till like at least the 40s. In the 20s he came, I think, in 1920 or something like that. But I wanted to paint him so that when people saw the painting, the portal, they would feel his power and his vibration, his energy, his blessings, okay, when they viewed it. But I kept it to myself because I was afraid, oh, people think I'm weird, so I just kept it to myself. But I was praying over the canvas. I was oming the canvas. I was listening to his voice and intentionally putting it, infusing his energy into the canvas. I was doing all these things secretly, by myself. And I finished them up, and I hung them up to dry. And if you know anything about oil paints, because that's my medium, is oil paints, is you gotta let it sit for a while before they dry. So at that time, I I painted in an art studio where there were other artists. And someone came by who I did not know, never even seen her in the art studio. She came by and she said, are you the one who painted Yogananda? And I said, oh, yes, I am. And she said, I just have to tell you, when I look at this painting of him, I can feel his vibration, his power, his energy. And I know because I'm a disciple of his. And on the outside, I went, oh, thank you. But on the inside, I was like, oh my goodness, it worked, it worked, it worked. And so that's when I started to realize that those little inklings that I get, those desires, are something I'm supposed to act on. That was evidence for me to know that, oh, I'm here to work with the spirit guides. I'm here to like create these portals and go forward on it. So those three things, let me recap real quick. Looking outside yourself for the answers, judgment of judging yourself, judging your desires, and worrying about what other people think. Okay? Those are the three things that are stopping you from knowing your answers that are coming from within. Now, what do you do to start to change this? The first thing you do, you have to start to raise your level of awareness of when you're doing those three things, when you're looking outside yourself, when you're in judgment, when you're worried about what other people think. Because when you start to become aware, that's when you can change it. Okay? And the first step in changing it is that awareness to go, oh, I'm in judgment. Let me stop that. Is that really true? Is this really true for me? That in my heart's desire, I really believe what I'm judging myself for? Or is it just I was raised with that belief? Because if it's anything that's denigrating you, telling you that you're not a good person, that something's wrong with you, that's not a true belief, okay? It's a subconscious wound that got instilled when you were young that has to be healed, and you have to reprogram your subconscious mind, okay? Now, if you're worried about what other people think, that's something I still have to work with, okay? It can come up, but when I always am aware of it, I can go, oh, there it is. I can call it out that, oh, I'm worried about what other people think. And by me calling it out, I can change that behavior. I can go, oh, I am choosing to thank you for sharing that, whatever part of me that needs to tell me that you're worried about it. But we're going to move forward anyway. It's okay if people think I'm weird. It's okay if people don't like what I'm doing. As long as I'm not hurting anybody, shooting anybody, doing anything wrong like that, like where I'm hurting some other soul, I can move forward. Okay? So I'd love to see you in the comments. Tell me what your commitment is. Are you going to commit to start to work on your awareness? Oh, and one of the things that you can do to help raise your level of awareness is to have quiet time. Sit quietly with yourself. If you don't meditate, learn how to meditate. If you want to learn how to meditate, that's something I do too. I teach some of my spiritual success coach clients how to meditate. But because I want you to learn how so you can raise your level of awareness. It's one of the best things it does for you is that it raises your level of awareness so that you can start to see the patterns and the beliefs that have been holding you back, that have been keeping you from knowing those answers from within. All right? So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so if you like what you're hearing here. And if this would be helpful to one of your friends, please share it. And turn on your notifications so you can know whenever I'm putting up some new content for you, okay? So you have a miraculous day. Blessings.